It's nice to go back and reminisce, and when we're waiting for new content to enjoy in regards to FNAF, it's really the only choice we have. Welcome back, my fellow gamers. I'm your host, Amanda McKnight, and this is the top 10 best things about Security Breach. Number 10, the wet floorbot sign. I mean, I don't think I can make a list without mentioning the wet floorbot signs. If you don't know from me talking about Security Breach like a number of times on the channel, I love them. They're one of my favorite things from Security Breach. They're somehow both disturbing and cute all at once. And I personally wish I could get a bunch of plushies of them. Also, guess what? I looked it up while I was writing this, and you can get plushies. If you're a mega wet floorbot sign fan like me, you can get your own wet floorbot sign plushie. I know, it's crazy. MMO Creations is making them on Etsy. I kid you not. I definitely need to get a whole army of them at some point. I think I also love kind of just what they embody in the game, that almost everything in this pizzaplex, in this location, can be some kind of bot. I love the idea that Fazbear has botified almost the entire place, minus of course the human employees. Although, who knows if that will always be the case. What about a story where we start working at like Fazbear and then we slowly become a cyborg over time from our like own free upgrades that are offered via our employment contract? That sounds like it could be a great freaky story for like the books or the games. Also, it reminds me of Cyberpunk. That's like a thing in Cyberpunk when you work for companies, they like upgrade you, and like sometimes you can't opt out of the upgrades. Whew, scary. Number 9, making pizza. I actually really enjoyed the weirdness that was the making of the pizza to distract Chica. 1, it's terrifying, and 2, you get to make freaking pizza. I'm not as big of a fan of making pizza in real life, but in a video game, I do like to make pizza, especially in life or death situations, which I know is weird. I don't know what it is about cooking, but I've always preferred to cook in video games. I've always preferred to pretend cook more than really cook in the real world. I do not like cooking as a person usually, although if I'm cooking with people then I'm usually cooler about it. But I do like video games, like I love Cooking Mama. So what's up with that? Or activities or games where I'm made to cook something in-game, especially if I actually get to like somehow utilize whatever I made, like in Breath of the Wild or Security Breach, because obviously in Security Breach my pizza is a distraction, and in Breath of the Wild you can actually eat what you cook and gives you health and stamina and stuff. I don't know, what's up with that? Why do I only like it when it's pretend? Real cooking, I'm like, I burnt it. That's always how it goes, I think. That's why. And friends, before I move on to the next spot, if you are loving what we do here at Top 10 Gaming, you should go check out one of our newest channels, Most Amazing Top 10 Anime. You can go there for all your anime and manga desires. It's very cool, actually. You should go check it out. Seriously, it's hopping over there. Number 8, map size. So one of my favorite things about Security Breach is just how massive of a game it is, both in the world, but also just like in terms of time you can play and things you can explore. It's got a massive map size and there is so much to see in this game. It's definitely the biggest given in the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise, and you can see how ambitious they were just when it comes to how massive the pizzaplex and like the catacombs even underneath are. There is something to be said for the fact that up until this point, FNAF has operated on relatively tiny maps, smaller scale, where you couldn't even really fully see everything, and has done so well despite that. But you know, to let us actually explore the world and see all these little details and move around, it's really cool. It's a franchise that has come a long way, and the size of the map is kind of just like another indicator of that. That makes me happy. Number 7, Roxy's horrifying meltdown. A great moment, or sequence of moments really, from the games happens when you head to face Roxy at her speedway. But let's ignore the fact that Gregory attacks her and takes her eyes, which is horrifying and weird, and instead let's focus on the other horrifying part about this section of the game. The fact that a broken-faced, broken down, now blind Roxy is going to chase wildly after you, charging at you until you manage to escape her in a room filled with fire, and where you have to kind of lure her even into breaking down the doors that allow you to get to the escape vent to get away from her in that fire-filled room. Sounds terrifying, right? Well, that's because it beautifully is so terrifying. There's also something very disturbing and sad about Roxy's meltdown in regards to how she looks and her concern for whether or not she'll still be loved despite her appearance. Like, I don't know. That's scary in another way. That's like scary in a way that I'm like, wow, that's very weirdly human. Oh, poor Roxy. I do feel bad for her, but you know, don't be so obsessed with your appearance, Roxy. Why not just trust that maybe people should just like you because you're a nice person? It's probably because she's not a nice person, so yeah. Number 6, Phaser Blast. I was really hoping that we'd also get to go, you know, go-karting in Security Breach, but you know, that isn't really a thing in the same way that Phaser Blast, their laser tag game, is, unfortunately. Still, it is really cool to play laser tag. Fun fact, I actually used to work at a laser tag place and I used to be quite good at playing laser tag as a result. But it's been a minute for me, so any game where I can relive the nostalgia of blasting someone with the laser is awesome for me to experience, especially because laser tag is less common these days thanks to many of the laser tag places closing during the last few years. In the Pizzaplex, their laser tag is the Phaser Blast, and it also later becomes a makeshift headquarters for Vanny to hide out in, as can be seen when you choose Vanny as the option for the game continuation following 6 AM. I do love that question. What do you want to do? Vanny. It's like, what? What? You want to stay, you want to leave? Vanny. Okay. Okay, Gregory. Strange. Number 5, DJ Music Man. Is there anything more terrifying than a giant animatronic? I don't think so. I mean, there's a lot of terrifying things in this game, but that thing's pretty scary. That is part of what makes a DJ Music Man so great. I also love how I was expecting this to be a hallucination, but in reality, it really is just the giant animatronic that chases you. That is madness. We all know Music Man from Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator, and even there, we thought of him as a horrifying animatronic to behold. In the Pizzaplex, it seems that this alternate version of Music Man, known as DJ Music Man or DJ MM, is in charge of playing and mixing tunes during working hours for patrons who come through the Pizzaplex, and is also considered to be a nice guy by Glamrock Freddy, but he is also gigantic and terrifying when he chases you while you're playing as Gregory, so there's also that. Number 4, the Glamrocks. The Glamrocks in general just have a really rad design. I also feel like calling them rad is very fitting, since their style is definitely inspired by the flamboyant and famous glam rockers of the 70s and 80s. Me calling them rad feels very glam rock. I love how flashy they are, and I think it was smart to revamp the animatronics for the game. Not only do they look more modern and sleek, but the bright colors and shiny newness to them also just makes them seem more approachable to you. So Freddy being an ally instead of an enemy in this game, it doesn't feel suspicious or sketchy. It actually allows you to be more inclined to trust him because he's so bright, colorful, and generally looks friendlier than the other versions of Freddy that we've gotten so far. At least, I mean, that's what I think. You can let me know in the comments if you think Glamrock Freddy is the most friendly looking one, or if there's someone else that looks more friendly. I guess the plushies, they look pretty friendly, but like, I'm thinking of like little Freddles or whatever they're called, but they're also terrifying, so they're also like some of the scariest ones. Number 3, Glamrock Chica. Speaking of Glamrocks and how much we love them, there are a few who really stood out when it came to the animatronics in this game. And in regards to the Glamrocks, one of them is Glamrock Chica. I mean, I always loved Chica in the games, but I really love this version of Chica, and her obsession with pizza that she likely, you know, can't really eat. Although what I'm really hoping for Glamrock Chica, and for really all the Chicas, is that they love to snack, because they actually are the only animatronics who were given artificial taste receptors. So, you know, while they might not need food to run or to operate, or like humans do of course to live, they can still taste what they're eating. That's not a canon thing, that's just Amanda's headcanon, but I really hope that that's a reality. That's my dream for all of the Chicas out there anyways. Number 2, Daycare Attendant. Oddly enough, I think one of the greatest villains in Security Breach was actually a new character. Surprise, surprise, if you actually invest in building something new and commit to it, people might, I don't know, like it. While Vanny being underutilized was really disappointing, and William Afton's return was, of course, expected, Moondrop to me was like a freaky breath of fresh air. Moondrop and Sundrop, also technically being the same animatronic, but with different personalities, also made for an interesting dynamic. It's actually kinda like what I was hoping with Vanessa and Vanny, even though we didn't really get as much of that. I even loved Moondrop's freaky candy, and how his presence just made you like appear sleepy. If that's what all that purple glittery screen was supposed to symbolize. I'm assuming that's what it was supposed to symbolize, that we're like feeling sleepy from just Moondrop's presence? I don't know. Or from the creepy sleepy time candy that he has. Ooh, it seems strange. I love that they put that in the game. I was like, this seems super weird and problematic. I love it. Number 1, Glamrock Freddy. Probably one of the coolest things in this game is that we actually get to have a BFF animatronic. Glamrock Freddy wanting to genuinely help us, and even his genuine concern for his friends, his animatronic friends, who have seemingly been probably breached somewhat in terms of their programming, is actually super adorable. He also makes for not just a heartfelt companion, but a useful one, as you can climb inside his chest cavity and of course take control of him to get around, safely traveling within where other animatronics can't get you, and also won't attack you while you're inside of him. At least not all animatronics. Sometimes things happen. I think Glamrock Freddy is cool and useful to have as a pal and as a character in the game. What is your favorite thing about Security Breach? Do you love that it's an open world game? Is there a character you're particularly fond of here? Do you love how kind of psychopathic Gregory sometimes seems? As much as it weirds me out, I do kind of love it. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. This has been Top 10 Gaming, and I'm your host Amanda McKnight. I will see you in the next video, but until then, keep on gaming on. Pew pew! What?
Veggies have carbs, by the way.
Veggies do have carbs. Yeah. It's true. Veggies do have carbs. But they're good carbs.
Yeah.
Bread, I feel like, isn't necessarily good carbs because it's complex, right?
Yeah.
Complex carbs. Harder for your body to digest. Put that in there, Connor. That's important. The people need to know. I'm saying Connor like Connor's editing this video. Connor's probably not editing this video, but whoever you are, you wonderful person, put that in there. People need to know about the complex carbs.